This is Beyond the Point Dance Podcast with your host, Nicole Hargrove. Nicole is a native of Indianapolis, Indiana, and is owner and artistic director of Beyond the Point Dance, a modern and ballet dance company. Nicole is married for over 26 years and is a proud mother of 4 children. She received a Bachelor of Science Fine Arts degree from Ball State University, Muncie, Indiana, in dance education, and a second declared major in exercise science. She is the founder of the Beyond the Point Summer Dance Camp and now your host of the Beyond the Point Dance Podcast, Nicole Hargrove.
Beyond the Point Dance is now in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're just so excited to be a part of the dance world, and we want to explore all of the dance companies across the nation as well as the world. And you are one of our first people that we reached out to, and you responded very quickly, which I greatly appreciate. And I just want to ask just a few questions in regards to your role in the dance world. So let me start with the first question. What inspired you or welcomed you directly into the world of dance?
Nicole, thank you so much for having me on the show. So if you're talking about what first inspired me into the world of dance, I can tell you that I was a young man, actually for a dancer, pretty old to start dancing. I was 20 years old. But I was studying theater at Penn State University, and that there was a summer kind of internship, and they were doing a musical called Carousel, which is Rodgers and Hammerstein, and there's a very big ballet section in Carousel, and so they said to me, can you sing and dance? Because we need people for the chorus, and I said, of course I can sing and dance. So I had sung in choirs before, but I'd never ever had a formal dance class in my life. And I went into the audition, and the choreographer gave me a few steps, and I tried them, and it turned out that I could do these steps. And the lady who was the choreographer, her name was Pat Heigl. She was a modern dance teacher in the phys ed department, and she was a beautiful lady. And before each, first of all, I got into the show, and then before each rehearsal, we had a little warm up where she would give us a class, and the whole thing felt so great to me, so right to me. I felt, wow, this is like I'm finally home, and so I loved it. I loved it a lot, and Ms. Heigl said to me, David, you have a little bit of talent. If you want to stay in the field of dance, you should. And that's what happened. And I kept on taking more and more dance classes until
Awesome.
That's how I first got captured.
Oh, awesome. I'll say I know just a little bit about you because I followed you actually in high school as well as in college and even as a young adult. So I know quite a bit about Dance Kaleidoscope and its foundation and everything. And just to talk a little bit about your role as the artistic director of the beautiful Dance Kaleidoscope, which is one of the companies that I've followed, again, my whole entire career.
Right. Well, Dance Kaleidoscope, we're quite unusual because we are a contemporary dance company here in Indianapolis. We're we're going to go into our 48th season, which is amazing that we've been existing so long. And I came here in 1991. So it's almost going to be 30 years that I've been here. And my role as the artistic director really is to shape the artistic process in which we as a company produce and present programs for the Indianapolis audience. So what I do is my first huge responsibility, of course, is to choose the dancers and to train them. So we train in 2 sets of techniques. We train in ballet, which we do twice a week, and we train in Martha Graham technique 3 times a week. And the reason why we do that is because, first of all, I was in the Martha Graham company for 10 years, and I was her rehearsal director for 3.5 years. But I also think that the combination of ballet and Graham gives the dancers a very, very strong technical background,
Right.
They have great line, they have great legs, they can turn, they can jump, and then the Graham technique allows them to move their torsos very freely and to get in and out of the floor and to be open to all kinds of expression, because the Graham technique really forces you to go inside yourself and expose the things that are really feel like you have to express. So it's a really, really good combination of both. And so people over the years have said, yes, we love watching the dancers evolve as they progress through the company. So that's the first thing we do. And then the second thing I do as an artistic choreographer, as a director choreographer, is to plan the seasons for the company here in Indianapolis. And we try to make it very, very different. Every time you come to see Dance Kaleidoscope, we don't want people to come back and say, oh, I don't want to see them anymore because every time I go, I see the same thing. So our programs are very, very different from each other, and it's quite a challenge because right now, actually, Nicole, we're doing almost 6 programs a year. So almost immediately after we finish a performance, we have to start cracking on the next one, and the dancers have to learn their parts very quickly, very, very quickly, because there's no time to waste. Not at all. Yeah. When you do 6 shows a year, it's a lot of repertoire to learn and to get through.
Yes, that's a lot of work, but it keeps the dancers on point.
Exactly, and it keeps the dancers dancing because I think the reason why they look so good is because they are constantly performing and constantly. Because somebody said that you do things in performance that you never ever do in rehearsal.
Right.
So
exactly.
Exactly, because you have. The demands of the performance are there. The audience is sitting right there in front of you, and you have to produce the end product. There's no excuse. So it makes them strong. It makes them very, very strong. And resilient and tough and all of that stuff. And expressive, and they become consummate, what I like to call them, they become consummate artists. And that's what I work for. More than anything else is to develop the dancers into becoming really, really consummate artists, so that when they go on stage, they are fully self-actualized, So that's the other part of my job. And then the third part of my job, of course, is the administrative side, where I have to go out in the community and talk about Dance Kaleidoscope. I'm kind of like an ambassador for the company and for all of the arts, and I do have to do fundraising, asking people for money, because as everyone knows, to keep the arts going in America, we always have to do fundraising, because we never get enough support from just ticket sales.
Right.
So always having to raise money and go out. And in addition, I like to do things in the community. One of the things that I'm proudest of here in Indianapolis is that I started this benefit called Spotlight, which every year draws together performing arts organizations from all over the city, and we do a fundraiser for the Indiana AIDS benefit. And it's such a great evening because, first of all, people always say to me, oh my goodness, I never knew these people existed. So we get people from the fringe, as well as well-known people to come and display their talents. But more importantly, the community comes together to do something good for another organization. Nicole, as artists, we're always accused of being so self-serving because we have to concentrate so much on our art in order to be good. That we have very little time for other people. So this is our one chance to give back to the community, and I love it.
That's so awesome. Yes, I will say this, and I know you know this as well. I have been a part of your Spotlight event with Kenyette Dance, and I've also been an extraordinary part of this awesome gala that you have yearly, and it's just extraordinary. I mean, it just opens up the whole idea of the dance world, people coming together in the community and dancing, having fun, and just having fun. I mean, I just love
Yeah.
it. I absolutely love it. And that's why I selected you as one of my first artists. I want to call you an artist because you're not just a choreographer. You're not just an artistic director. You're not just the head of Dance Kaleidoscope. You are a true artist, and I really appreciate that you do that for the Indianapolis community. I am a native of Indianapolis and just so grateful that Dance Kaleidoscope continues after 40 years of providing the arts in the community of Indianapolis. And I just have one last question for you. And
Okay.
You mentioned this earlier on when you were speaking about dance evolving. And we're here in 2019, all right, where the millennials exist, where all this new technology is taking place. How do you think the world of dance is evolving, the whole world of dance?
Well, thank you for asking me that question, Nicole. I think it is constantly evolving. And I think the biggest thing that has happened to dance in the last, I would say, 30 years has been the hip-hop movement. Because, what is really interesting is that, 30 years ago, we take this program out to the schools where we teach kids about what modern dance is. And 30 years ago, if you asked any of the kids to move, they didn't want to. They would, fold their arms and say, no, I'm not moving. Now, of course, everybody wants to move because of the hip-hop movement. Because movement and dance is very, very much a part of that movement. And so kids grow up understanding that it's okay to move, that it's okay to dance, that it's part of their expression. So I think that's really, really, really fantastic that that's what hip-hop has given us. And it's really interesting to see all of the hip-hop hybrids that are evolving. I even think that there's one hybrid from Chicago, I think, with hip-hop and Pointe, which is so interesting to me. Yes.
It's called Hiplet. It is actually the Homer Bryant studio that does it.
Yes, I think that is definitely awesome. But it's really, and the thing that, people like Lil Buck, who does, he is like what I can say, an ambassador for hip hop. That video of him and Yo-Yo Ma playing the Dying Swan is just so beautiful. And it makes people appreciate artistry in a different kind of form. So, anything that changes our aesthetic as to what dance can be and what it ought to be is fantastic. And I think hip-hop is doing that. So I think the world of dance is constantly evolving. I think people going to dance concerts are evolving too. Audiences have much shorter attention spans. They're tied to their cell phones. It's really, really quite a challenge actually to get people to pay attention to what's happening on stage. So we have to be very clever about what it is that we present. So
absolutely.
It's constantly
it has
changing.
been an absolute pleasure speaking with you and you enlightening me as an adult about the world of dance. Because again, I just am so inspired by you and all of your beautiful dancers. And again, thank you so very much for your time. And
all right, and to your listeners, I just want to say, keep on dancing. Keep on dancing.
Yes.
Because I had a wonderful jazz teacher called Liz Williamson, and she would always say to me, David, keep on dancing. Just keep on dancing. So that's what I want to say to everybody. Just keep on dancing. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you for your listening pleasures here at Beyond the Point Dance. My name is Nicole Hargrove. I am your host. Dance is life. Life is dancing.